Hello there guys, welcome to another of my videos. So, who will Manchester United loan out? Who will Manchester United sell? And who will Manchester United keep? I'm going to be going through with that. I'm going to be going through that with you on this video now. So I think the players that Manchester United could loan out is James Garner, because obviously James Garner isn't even getting in the team. I think it did actually say that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to decide on what players he's going to loan out this week. I think there's been a few Championship clubs that have been interested in James Garner, and that's Swansea, Cardiff. I also believe that Doncaster have been interested in James Garner. But I think we'll loan him out so obviously he can get more game time. I think another player we could loan out, and that is Tahith Chong, because his appearances have also been limited at the football club. Tahith Chong did make his competitive debut in our 2-0 win against Reading last season in the FA Cup third round. But yeah, he wants to go out on loan to get regular game time. There's a possibility chance that we could loan Daniel James out for next season. Now, for the vast majority of this season, Daniel James has had a lot of game time. Because I think throughout the course of this season, Daniel James has played around 30 odd games for Manchester United. We did get Daniel James last summer from Swansea for around £15 million. So he was a cheap solution. Daniel James can play on the left and he can also play on the right. But, when he's played this season, we have played him on that right-hand side, but more effective from that left, like I said. And, but towards the end of the season, after lockdown, Daniel James dropped out of the team because, our preference was Mason Greenwood instead. Mason Greenwood's been getting a lot of starts recently. And if we was to obviously sign Sancho, then obviously there'd be no room for Daniel James to get into the team. But we may not loan him out, we may keep Daniel James. But I still think he's enjoyed a very, very good season for Manchester United. I think another player that we could loan out, and that is Alex Tuanzebe. Because Tuanzebe, in the games he has played in throughout the course of this season, he has done very, very well. But obviously, he's one of our backup centre-halves. In total, I think we've got around 7 centre-halves in the team. Obviously, Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof are our first-choice centre-halves. Bay's one of the backup centre-halves as well as Alex Tuanzebe. Obviously, we've got Rojo out on loan. We've got Smalling that's out on loan at the moment. But, so possibly could loan him out. And, by the way, Alex Tuanzebe is out with injury at the moment. Another player that Manchester United could loan out, and that is Fosu Mensah. He's another player that's been finding game time very, very difficult. Don't forget, Fosu Mensah did play in our 2-0 win against Crystal Palace, and that was his first appearance for the football club in just over 3 years. I think he did actually start at, was it right back against Crystal Palace, or was it left back? Sorry, I think he started against Crystal Palace. He actually played in the West Ham game where he'd actually started at right back because obviously Anwan Bissaka was dropped, but he did come on in that game. So there's a possibility chance we could loan him out. He's already had a few loan spells as Fosu Mensah, with Crystal Palace and I think Fulham. But yeah, so here's another one. So I think they're the players that Manchester United could loan out. Now, I think the players that Man United are going to sell in this summer transfer window, I think, we're going to sell Jesse Lingard because obviously, Jesse Lingard is very, very inconsistent. Jesse Lingard did score in our 2-0 win against Leicester, and that was his first goal for the football club in the Premier League since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first game in charge of the club. So that just indicates how inconsistent Jesse Lingard has been. And like I've said before, reflects on the years he's been at Manchester United and reflecting on his status, he should be putting much more better performances out. I think Jesse Lingard's made around 132 appearances for the club. Something like that. And scored around, 18 goals. I think Lingard's just got under a year left on his contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. I think if we were to sell Jesse Lingard in this summer transfer window, I think, we could get maybe in the £20 million range for him. Yeah. But Solskjaer did recently say, he's losing his patience with the playing. He's finding it hard to get in the team now anyway. Since Bruno Fernandes came in, Lingard's found game time hard. I think Andreas Pereira, he's another player. I think, Manchester United need to... Manchester United need to offload because Pereira's now finding it very, very difficult to get in the team. And I said, when Pereira's played this season, he's been very, very inconsistent. But a lot of his appearances have been coming from that substitutes bench. Pereira did have loan spells before, was it, with Valencia and Granada. Also, to Alexis Sanchez, we'll be looking to sell Alexis Sanchez, and it'd be very, very good if we could sell Alexis Sanchez because it would free up our wage bill completely. Because, like I said, Sanchez's wages are having a really, really bad effect on the club because his wages at Manchester United are like 400 grand a week, potentially rising up to 500 grand a week based on the image rights and the bonuses. Despite the fact that Sanchez is on loan now at Inter Milan, we're still paying the vast majority of his wages. I still believe we're paying him like 300 grand a week, and Inter Milan are paying like the other £100,000 a week. I think they're paying 150,000 Inter Milan. Sanchez joined Inter Milan on a 10-month loan last summer. Obviously, Inter Milan had no option to buy, or there was no obligation to buy. But we've had some good news regarding Sanchez recently because, according to reports, Inter Milan want to get Alexis Sanchez permanently, providing that Sanchez takes a pay cut. Sanchez has refused to take a pay cut before. Sanchez is due to return to Manchester United on August the 7th. Because that's when his loan expires. Sanchez has still got a contract with Man United until 2022. I think we want around £18 million to let Sanchez go permanently. Sanchez hasn't really done well at Inter Milan because don't forget he did have that dislocated ankle and he was out for a good 3 months. He endured a difficult 18 months at Manchester United. We got Sanchez back in January 2018 as part of a swap deal of, Mkhitaryan going to Arsenal. And we thought at the time we got Sanchez, he would have been an exceptional signing. We thought he would have been. And he failed to produce at Man United what he did in his 3.5-4 years at Arsenal, and he failed to replicate what he did when he was younger under Pep Guardiola's guidance at Barcelona. But I don't want Sanchez back at Manchester United. So he's another player I think we are looking to sell. Another player that Man United are looking to sell, and that is Phil Jones. Like I said, Phil Jones doesn't even get in the team now. Phil Jones sustained quite a few injuries as a Man United player. And as I speak now, he's currently injured at this present time. Phil Jones has been long serving at the football club. This has been Phil Jones' 9th season at Manchester United. Obviously, we've had him since the Alex Ferguson era. And I think if we were to sell him, we'd probably demand around £15 million for Phil Jones. So he's another player we'll be looking to offload. Obviously, we're hoping to get rid of Chris Smalling and Rojo on permanent transfers as well. I think the news regarding Smalling, I think we want, it said before, wanted around £20 million to let him go permanently. I think Roma do actually want to get Chris Smalling permanently. There was talks before of Roma getting him on loan for another season, then having the obligation to buy him after for around £13 million. Chris Smalling did enjoy 9 years at Manchester United. Rojo, get rid of him permanently. Another player I think Man United could get rid of is Diego Dalot. Possibly he could stay, but I think we need to get rid of him because I don't think Diego Dalot is good enough to represent Manchester United. Obviously, he's been in the club now over a year and a half. We did get Diego Dalot in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window. We did pay around £19 million for him from Porto. Dalot has got a contract with us until 2023. And I think, Barcelona and PSG have been interested in him before. He's our backup right back to Bissaka. He's hardly played this season because he's had quite a few injuries. I think he's only made one start in the Premier League this season. But yeah, we're also looking to get rid of him. Some Man United fans think we need to get rid of Juan Mata in this summer transfer window. Like I said, Juan Mata doesn't hardly get in the team now anyway, but when he does, he tends to make a fantastic impact. Juan Mata's aging up now, he's in his 30s, and he's been a long servant at Man United. This has been his 6th season at the football club, Juan Mata's. We did get him from Chelsea back in 2014 for around, 40 million or just under £40 million. So we got him under the David Moyes era. We got him under the David Moyes era. So they're the players that possibly Manchester United could sell in this summer transfer window. But obviously, the players that Manchester United are going to keep, we're obviously going to keep Marcus Rashford. I definitely think Marcus Rashford is the foreseeable future for Manchester United. I know he hasn't had the best of seasons because obviously, Marcus Rashford missed 5 months. So that he's missed half or more than half the season with that back injury. The first part of the season didn't really make an impact, and after lockdown, Rashford weren't at his best. But Rashford still scored 22 goals in all competitions this season for Man United. And since he broke into the senior squad, I think he's got, good 60-odd or 70-odd goals now. But we know that Rashford has been playing on the left this season. But we will keep him. Anthony Martial, we'll definitely keep him. Because like I've said, I think Anthony Martial has enjoyed a very, very good season for Manchester United. Like I said to you before, I think Martial's had 2 good years out of the 5 years he's been at the club. He's done well this season under Solskjaer, and he did very, very well in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. Did you know Anthony Martial? And Martial scored 22 goals in all competitions this season for the football club. And we know this season that Anthony Martial has been playing in that number 9 role. Because he's actually not very, very effective in that number 9 role, even though that's not his predominant position. Mason Greenwood, we'll definitely keep him. I think Mason Greenwood's enjoyed a fantastic season at Manchester United. This has been his first full season in the senior squad. Mason Greenwood has scored 17 goals in all competitions this season. And Solskjaer the other week was talking a lot about Mason Greenwood, how undroppable he is, and he was saying that he's ready to play for England at senior level. And he'll definitely not emulate to Marcus Rashford's level, will Greenwood. Don't forget, Greenwood was recently out with an ankle injury. Also, too, we're going to keep Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes has definitely made the difference in our team. Bruno Fernandes, I think, has got 10 goals since his arrival from Sporting Lisbon in January. And, don't forget, Bruno Fernandes became the first Manchester United player to win back-to-back Player of the Month since Cristiano Ronaldo. But he's definitely made the difference in the team. Like I said, in the last few games, Bruno Fernandes has looked a bit off the pace and he has lacked that composure, which is unusual of him. We did get Bruno Fernandes, by the way, in a deal with 65 million from Sporting in January. And I think Fernandes did sign, was it a 5 or a 5.5 year deal at the club? Yeah. But we do remain unbeaten in the league since Fernandes came in. So it just proves, how one player can make a difference in your team. Paul Pogba, I think we're going to be keeping him now. Especially that we have got qualification for the Champions League. We need to end the uncertainty over Paul Pogba's future because Paul Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. At one point it was looking very imminent. He was going to be leaving Manchester United. Last summer Paul Pogba was relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid because Pogba said last summer he was seeking for a new challenge and publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club. There was a lot of narratives about Paul Pogba going back to Juventus. Don't forget, Paul Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus. There was talks about him going to PSG and Barcelona before. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's just got under a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. There was narratives coming out the other week from Fabrizio Romano saying that Man United do want to extend Pogba's contract, and Pogba's agent Mini Raiola is waiting for the offer. It says the other week as well, we was close to getting Paul Pogba a new 5-year contract at the football club. And if he was to sign it, it'd keep at the club until 2025. But I think he will end up now signing a new long-term contract at Man United. But as it stands at the moment, Pogba is on just under 300 grand a week. So he's one of the highest paid players at the club. And, he's our most expensive signing at the moment because we did pay 8 to 9 million for him. Like I said, didn't have a perception on Paul Pogba for the vast majority of this season because he was out with that ankle injury. He sustained a few injuries at Man United, but I think after lockdown, Paul Pogba did make a good impact. He scored that goal against Aston Villa, which was his first goal this season for Man United and his first goal since April 2019. But I think in the last few games, Paul Pogba has looked a bit off the pace. But I still think his combination with Fernandes in that in-our midfield has been very, very good. So we'll keep Paul Pogba. And even if we do sell Paul Pogba, in the next year or two, we'll still obviously want more than the 89 million that we did pay for him. And that same would apply if we'd have sold him in this summer transfer window. We'd want more than the 89 million that we paid for him. So we'll keep him. I think we'll keep Matic, definitely. Actually, at one point, it was looking very imminent that Matic was going to be leaving the football club. Because obviously, he wasn't getting in the team enough. And for the vast majority of the season, Matic hasn't really had a lot of starts. But since lockdown, Matic, was obviously, getting a lot of starts, and he was getting there ahead of the likes of Scott McTominay and Fred was Nemanja Matic. But I think a lot of aspects of Matic's game have really, really improved. If you notice, he's keeping the ball better, he's getting in better positions, he's passing the ball better. Don't forget, a few weeks ago, Matic had signed a new contract at the football club. I think he did sign a 3-year deal. But this has been Matic's third season at Man United, and we paid around £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. So we will keep him, even though he's in his 30s. Scott McTominay, will definitely keep him. Scott McTominay is definitely the foreseeable future for Man United. Like I said, he did well earlier on in the season. He put some very, very good performances out. Don't forget, though, he did have that injury, did Scott McTominay, so he was out of injury for a while. Fred, I definitely don't believe that Man United will keep him. I think Fred has enjoyed a very, very good season for us. Obviously, we got Fred in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window. We did pay around, £52 million for him. A lot of people criticised Fred under the Jose Mourinho era, but let's be honest, Fred never really got his opportunities under the Mourinho era, but this season under Solskjaer has been absolutely exceptional. I think he's also been very, very mobile, so I will give him that. So we'll definitely keep him. We will keep Luke Shaw. Because I think, Luke Shaw's a very, very good left-back. My only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury-prone. This has now been Luke Shaw's 6th season at Manchester United. We paid around £30 million in from Southampton back in 2014. He also, I think, had quite a few injuries when he was at Southampton. And he's currently been injured recently for us because don't forget he's been out of that ankle injury. And I think he's missed our last, 3 or 4 games due to this ankle injury, Luke Shaw. So, yeah. And I think for next season, he will remain our first choice left-back. I know we've also got Brandon Williams at left-back. And we'll also keep Brandon Williams because I think Brandon Williams is the foreseeable future for Man United. I think he's enjoyed a very, very good season. This has been his first full season in the senior squad. And I think when Brandon Williams has played, he's showed very good attacking intent. He's looked very disciplined at the back. He's made some very, very good overlapping runs, just like he showed in the Leicester game. And he scored his first professional goal in the 3-3 draw with Sheffield United. So, yeah, what a player Brandon Williams is. But I think eventually he will become our first choice left-back when obviously, he's got a bit more experience behind him. I think we'll keep Harry Maguire. like I said, Harry Maguire's had some good games for Man United, and he's also had some bad games. You know, this has been Harry Maguire's first season at Manchester United. Obviously, you know, we got him from Leicester last summer. You know, got him for £80 million, second most expensive sign at the club and most expensive centre-half in the world. We did give him the captaincy, but a lot of Manchester United fans now feel that Harry Maguire isn't good enough, you know, for the captaincy. So maybe, you know, we should give it to someone else. But we give Harry Maguire the captaincy, reflecting on Ashley Young's departure from the football club in January. But he's had some good performances, he's had some bad performances. But of late, I think Harry Maguire's looks very exposed at the back. He's been taking far too many touches. He's lacked some decisive passes. I think, you know, he struggled to get out of his own half. So there's still aspects of his game that do need to improve, Harry Maguire's. But we will still keep him, obviously. Victor Lindelof, I think we'll keep him. He's been up and down, hasn't he? You know, he's had some good games, he's had some bad games. You know, there's some games where he's looked off the pace and he's, you know, made a lot of mistakes. But there again, on the other hand, there's games where he's looked good, he's played well out from the back, he's kept the ball well, he's got in good positions, he's dictated the play well. And like I said, Lindelof is not a world-class centre-half. He's obviously not on Harry Maguire's level. And this is why there's reports saying that we want to get a centre-half to go alongside Maguire. But this has been Lindelof's third season at Man United. We paid £30 million in from Benfica back in 2017. Victor Lindelof. Eric Bailly, despite the fact that he's injury prone, I think we'll keep Eric Bailly, to be honest with you. I know there was stories coming out quite a few weeks ago saying that we could loan Eric Bailly out. He's obviously our backup centre-half, like I said. This has been Eric Bailly's fourth season at Manchester United. Obviously, you know, we did get him from Villarreal back in 2016 for 30 mil. It was actually, you know, the first sign that we made under the Jose Mourinho era was Eric Bailly. Eric Bailly in that. But yeah, and I think he's been out of injury recently. Don't forget, you know, he has had that head injury in that. So yeah, you know, there's a lot of players that Manchester United will definitely keep. Odion Ighalo, obviously, you know, we're going to keep him until the end of January 2021 because before the resumption of the season, it had confirmed that we extended Odion Ighalo's loan at the club. We did get Odion Ighalo on deadline day in January, and, you know, we made the right decision by getting him in because, obviously, you know, we needed to cover up to Marcus Rashford. And to be fair, Odion Ighalo's done very, very well for us. He was our top goal scorer in the FA Cup, you know, and he was a good cover-up to Marcus Rashford. But with no option to buy Ighalo, there's no obligation to buy. So when his loan spell expires, I presume he'll go back to Shanghai Shenhua. So there you go. And Sergio Romero, I think we'll also keep him. Obviously, he's not reliable enough, you know, to become our number one goalkeeper as yet, Sergio Romero. But, you know, we used to play him in the FA Cup games, you know, could play him in the Europa League games for next month. So, yeah, we'll keep David De Gea as well. He's another one we'll keep. I know there's a lot of Manchester United fans saying that, you know, we should sell David De Gea, you know, in this summer transfer window, or at least, you know, we should drop David De Gea for next season and, you know, put Dean Henderson as number one. There's a possibility chance that Dean Henderson could become number one for next season. But maybe David De Gea will remain our number one goalkeeper for next season, you know. But like I said, David De Gea has been a liability in the last couple of years, reflects on the calamitous mistakes he's made. Like I've said before, De Gea's had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been at Man United. You know, De Gea has made 404 appearances for the football club in all competitions. I forgot to mention when I was going through my selling list, I think we'll also sell Joe Pereira. Joe Pereira, of course, is out on loan. I think at the moment, is he with Hearts, Joe Pereira, if I'm right. But yeah, so that is the latest on all of that. Now, Solskjaer's already outlined his transfer plans after Champions League qualification, and Solskjaer has told our board to get his preferred targets before the start of next season. And Solskjaer's also told the board to back him. And I think Solskjaer wants to make at least 3 signings in this summer transfer window. Our transfer budget has been revealed. Solskjaer is going to be given around £140 million to spend. But like I said, with us selling players as well, our transfer budget will increase. It will increase. Now, Solskjaer recently said he's pleased to have proved his critics wrong. Now, obviously, we was very, very critical of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer earlier on in the season, including me. A lot of Manchester United fans were, because the way we was performing earlier on in the season, you wouldn't have even thought we'd have finished in the top half of the table, because earlier on in the season we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. Solskjaer was very, very close to getting sacked earlier on in the season, and at that point there was talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in, and there was also talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in to the football club. But, we decided to stick with Solskjaer. But I give you the main explanations why we didn't sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that. And that's because of the signing of Bruno Fernandes. Like I said, our approach to a lot of the big games this season's been very, very good, because we've taken a good 18 or 19 points against the top 6 sides this season. I think with that unbeaten run played a part in it, because don't forget, we went unbeaten in 19 games in all competitions until Chelsea had beaten us in the FA Cup semi-final. It was a shame that we lost the FA Cup semi-final to Chelsea, but we still did well to progress to the FA Cup semi-final. The good news is we are still unbeaten in our last 14 Premier League games. And Solskjaer is a club legend, so that also played a part in it. But we've had a fantastic upturn in form. We really, really have. But I think it's a fantastic achievement, to get qualification for the Champions League and to finish third. And it's only been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first full season at the football club. But we've got to get the players that we want in this summer transfer window, because like I've said before, our expectations next season will be to challenge for the Premier League title. Because like I've said to you before, we have to spend money to compete with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. I'll make an admission regarding Chelsea. They've done very, very good business so far. I think they've made a couple of signings. They got Werner from RB Leipzig for around 48 mil. They got Hakim Ziyech back in February for around 37 or 38 million. I'm still hearing stories saying that, they could be getting Havertz. It said recently that they agreed an £80 million fee with Leverkusen for Havertz. I think Chelsea are also still looking to get Ben Chilwell from Leicester. So Chelsea could be in there with a shout for next season. But we want to win a title under Solskjaer. We haven't won it for 7 years. The last time we won a title was back in Alex Ferguson's last season. And if we can win a title under Solskjaer, that will be our 21st title in total, because as it stands at the moment, we've won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier League titles. So as it stands at the moment, we are the most successful team in Premier League history. But silverware is very, very important, and we can only win one trophy this season under Solskjaer, and that is the Europa League. And if we can win the Europa League, that will be our first trophy under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because we've not yet won out in terms of silverware under Solskjaer, and he has been at the football club over a year and a half. But I think we actually are emerged as one of the favourites to win the Europa League. We do play Lask on the 5th of August in the second leg. Obviously, we're more or less into the quarterfinals because we are 5-0 up from the first leg. Like I said to you before, we have won 45 trophies in our history. 38 of those trophies came under Alex Ferguson, so that just indicates how dominant we were under Ferguson. Ferguson endured, 26 years at Manchester United, endured around 22 years of success, because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. Like I've said to you before, no one at Man United will replicate Ferguson's legacy, and no one will last as long as Ferguson did. But I think we can get back being competitive under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era and that. But it's going to take a long rebuilding process, like I've said to you before. It's going to take a long rebuilding process. It really, really is. And Solskjaer's already identified the areas in the squad where he wants to strengthen up. He said he wants to recommend a striker in. He wants to recommend a winner in. He wants to recommend a centre defensive mid. And he's also looking to recommend a centre half in, despite the fact that we've got 7 centre halves in the team. I think he's also looking to recommend a left back in, because he's still areas in the squad where Man United are lacking. Solskjaer did say at the start of his managerial tenure at Man United that he wanted to make around 9 signings. He agreed this with Mike Phelan. Obviously, so far Solskjaer's made 4 permanent signings at the football club and spent just over £200 million. And he's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into the club as well. So big decisions have got to be made in this summer transfer window. We know the players that we're trying to get. Obviously, we're trying to get Sancho. We're trying to get Grealish, because I think Sancho and Grealish are our 2 main priority targets. We're looking, like I said, we're looking to get a centre half in. We've been interested in Nathan Ake from Bournemouth in recent weeks. We're still interested in Kalidou Koulibaly from Napoli. We're trying to get a holding midfielder. I think, we're interested in Declan Rice from West Ham, but we've been in for him before. We've already missed out on a few players since Solskjaer came in. We missed out on Erling Haaland in January, and we also missed out on Jude Bellingham. So they're 2 young players that Man United missed out on. So yeah. So anyway, as you all know, next season does start on the 12th of September. And I think the fixtures for next season are published on the 22nd of August. So there you go. But yeah. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.